Hi, good evening, everyone. We're going to get the meeting started, actually, on time. The first item on the agenda this evening is a CAC presentation, so I'd like to invite Beth Herr up to speak to everybody about the wonderful opportunities and work that the CAC does.
Well, thank you, Madam Supervisor and board members and neighbors. I'm proud to say that the Kent CAC is an active, vital, and important group in our community. There are 7 members. We meet once a month. There's a botanist and a chemist and a wildlife biologist and engineers and college professors and a really wonderful group of people. Luckily, I'm not the only chair. The co-chair is here tonight as well, Dave Anabuski. And also, luckily, we have an emeritus member. His wife, Jean, is our secretary and takes wonderful minutes and gets the agenda and the minutes in on time. So just to remind you that we have charges under the code, and the Kent Code says that we are to preserve and improve the quality of the man-made and natural environment in the town of Kent. That's one of the things. We're to conduct programs of public information. We're to conduct a natural resource inventory. And another one is to maintain an index of green spaces. We do all those things in a manner of different ways. Probably the most vital one, and one that you can look at, is our website. And on that website, there are, besides the minutes and the agenda, there are links to the trails on all the open spaces that we have trails in the town of Kent. Not all of them. We have more work to do on that. We're remarkably rich in open spaces and places to enjoy nature in our town. And on that website also is a link to the Nature Almanac, and I've already heard 2 or 3 people tonight mention how much they enjoy the Almanac. You get about 150 or more people who subscribe to the Almanac, and the reason for doing the Almanac was to create an inventory, so sightings of bobcats and coyotes and natural things that happen in our own backyard are noted, and people send me emails or they log onto the website and write down what they've seen, and then we compile the records and some fabulous photographs. So if you don't subscribe, just go to our website, and under subscriptions, it's easy enough to subscribe to the hikes that we lead or to the Almanac, and it's easy to follow. And a part of our big and most wonderful and fun thing to do is to lead hikes in the community. We start with a New Year's Day hike, and this year we had a wonderful group came before the snow. There was no snow on the ground at the time, and we hiked at the Ninham multiple use area and found our way up to a bobcat lair up on that property. But just to give you an idea of what's coming, we're going to show a film at the Kent Library on April 25th. It's called Bag It, and it's about the plastic bag stream in our neighborhoods and what we can do about it. We're going to do our annual hike to Hawk Rock. That's a popular one in May. That's on May 3rd. We're also going to have a firefly social, a little bit of ice cream and fireflies, and June 20th at 8 o'clock. We're going to participate in the North American Butterfly Association annual butterfly count. That's on July 11th. Luckily and wonderfully, we had some young students attend our last meeting and offer to lead some hikes in the summertime. So that schedule hasn't been set, but probably we'll do several hikes around town during the summer. And something to look forward to is the Nimham Mountain Fire Tower Festival. That's going to be in October, and it really is our 10th anniversary of opening up the fire tower again for the public to enjoy. And in preparation for that, we'll probably have a couple of service days. And in order to maintain the fire tower, we keep a permit with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, so we have to supply annual minutes. And we have to maintain the tower in a safe and clean manner so that it's a gem for not only for Kent residents, but all of Putnam County. We also maintain an agreement with the New York City Department of Environmental Protection for the property on Wangtown Road so that we can lead hikes down to Hawk Rock. And this year, with the help of Maureen, thank you, we're going to support an Eagle Scout project. He's going to reblaze the trails and do a little bit of work at the Mead Farm site and make it more accessible and easier for hikers to find their way in and out. And also, really the reason I'm here tonight is to let you know that we're having a photo competition and ask your help to get the word out. Really, we're looking for beautiful pictures of our lovely town in any kind of weather. The deadline is coming soon, so I hope that if you have a camera yourself, or if you know someone who does, that you might get the word out so that we could have a good response. And those photographs will be exhibited at the library for the month of June, and Maureen has agreed to, after that exhibit, to have the photographs exhibited in the entranceway to the town hall. And I'd like to maintain those 10 pictures and rotate them so that we have some features of the beautiful historic sites or wildflowers or nature in our town, so that there's something new to look at when you visit the town. Now, I would just ask my co-chair to come up and describe our newest effort that we're a part of, and that is to, in order to maintain the tower, which after 10 years now is going to be needing a new coat of paint, which is going to cost about roughly $30,000 to $35,000. And because as a town agency we can't raise money, we've gotten some citizens that are interested in helping to support us with the Kent Conservation Foundation. And maybe you could tell them more about it.
Sure.
Beth, actually, if you don't mind, before you sit down, could you maybe tell everyone when the deadline for the photo competition is and how to submit photographs for it?
The photographs can be submitted right on the website or at my email, which is on the website as well. And the deadline is May 15th, so we have 1 month.
Okay. And would you like to give the web address?
Oh, maybe you could do that. Right off your tongue.
It's KentCAC.info, Kent Info. Hi, I'm Dave Enabusky, and I'd like to, just for information, let you know about the Kent Conservation Foundation. There's nothing you have to do about it. I just wanted to make sure you understood what it was. A group of Kent residents recently formed this nonprofit organization called the Kent Conservation Foundation Incorporated. And our mission is to basically carry out projects that the Kent CAC, the Conservation Advisory Committee, wants to get done or would like to see get done, but because it's a part of the town, it can't really do that itself, so it needs somebody to help out. You can think of it more or less as having the same relationship that a Friends of the Library has to the library. It brings things in that the CAC would like to have happen. For example, the long-standing stewardship agreement that the CAC has with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to take care of the fire tower is one. Mostly the CAC takes care of that using the stewardship agreement just with volunteer efforts. We go up there and pick up the trash and paint over the graffiti and, you know, keep the grounds clean and makes minor repairs on the thing. But after a long period of time, as you can imagine, you might get to a point, we might get to a point, we are getting to a point where we might have to do something more major. And that's what the Kent Conservation Foundation is for, to take on those projects that involve more major work. We might have to hire a contractor or things like that. So the Kent Conservation Foundation is planning on doing that. The status of the organization is that it's officially a real corporation. We're in the process of, we've got a board of directors that meets regularly. We have our bylaws and our officers and all of that formal stuff that needs to be done. We're in the process of applying for a 501c3 status so that we can be completely tax exempt. So donations that get made will be tax exempt. And we're expecting to start to go for individual members pretty soon, and hopefully we'll approach some of the businesses to help out with some of this stuff too. Our first project is going to be one that the CAC has long had in mind, and that's to replace the floor of the cabin in the tower. The tower was built in 1940 by the CCC, and the floor is original in it. And it's been up there a long time, and so now it's getting to be the time where we probably ought to replace it, and we've got some plans to actually make that happen with the help of a contractor who wants to do it for us with some of our help and with funding from the KCF. Our second project is likely to be getting an engineer, a civil engineer, to look over the tower and give us an idea of what a longer-term plan would be for real maintenance of the tower, to make sure that we have a plan in place to keep it up for a long period of time. But those are only the first couple of projects, and I'm sure the CAC will invent new ones for the Conservation Foundation to take on. So that's the Kent Conservation Foundation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got a bunch of questions, so you got to put up with me. You said about $35,000.
We don't really know that.
You don't have type of breakdown?
We don't have what we need to do beyond getting the floor replaced, which we know is going to cost us less than a couple of $1,000s. We don't have a long-term plan in place for the maintenance.
But you're working on that?
That's what we're going to do with it.
Has anybody in your organization scoped as far as, or investigated, I don't know what the professional term is, possible grants through the DEC, through the Heritage Fund, through...
We'll be doing a lot of that kind of looking. But first thing that we need to do is we can't just start raising money. We really have to have a plan. If it's going to cost a good deal to keep it up, keep it safe and attractive, we're going to need a real professional plan. And so that's why we need to get a professional engineer to do it. We have some people that we're approaching to do that. Over in Beacon, there's a fire tower over in Beacon, and that was recently refurbed. And so we're reaching out through the network of people who did that to get the people who do that kind of ironwork, civil engineering stuff, to come and have a look at ours.
Okay, so we need to find a civil engineer?
Probably, yeah. We need to have somebody who has the expertise to give us a good understanding of what we'll need.
No fly-by-nighter. We want to get a good guy.
No fly-by-night. It's got to be a...
All right, now, going back, you still haven't gotten the final 501c3 certificate?
That's correct.
Okay.
We have the New York State incorporation papers, and we have it arranged in such a way that the IRS should look at it and say, yes, this is okay. We had help in making sure that all of the way the mission and all of that stuff is correct for the 501c3 status, and it looks like we can apply without any problem through the EZ form. There's an online version now which is much simpler than it used to be. Getting a 501c3 used to be quite a complicated business, but they recently, for small corporations like this one, have put in place a much easier process for doing it all online.
Okay, I got a couple of things maybe both of you can. Trails. One of the things that we were tossing around, at least some of us, was some kind of a trail through Eustis Park, the Farmers Mills Park, since we own about 100 acres of land, either as a circle. But one of the things I was throwing out is involving conservation, involving other groups, sort of a multi-use.
Right.
Because I don't know how much money's out there to do this.
Right.
Okay. Knowing, you know, that it's a rough section, but, you know, I was always interested in what I saw upstate outdoor education, where they had a plank and going through some rough terrain, but picked out various things and naturalists and, you know,
Yes.
and But that's one of our goals someday. You know, I'm hoping to win Powerball or Mega. But just to throw that out to the Conservation Committee is that, you know, consider that. I don't know how far behind is the Appalachian Trail. I think it's a while. But a connection, and again, I have to look at the maps because the DEP bought some property that might be working with us, is the Bosse's Madden Farm off Miller Hill Road. And I don't know who is in there that would probably block that off, but it's something to, you know, that's one of my things I want to look at as, you know, of course, everything costs money. But I understand there's been some thought of doing that or started to do something out there. And I wanted just to get the expertise of the Conservation Committee.
The CAC is, of course, interested in conservation in general across the, across, and if there are projects like that, the CAC certainly has expertise to lend to that.
You see, my background is people, recreation, parks, but I did hike and portage in the Adirondacks because part of that was conservation and everything involved, and one of the realms
and
I
we
took.
do have contacts with, for example, the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. They have real expertise in building trails. We have contacts with the Putnam County Land Trust, and so there are ways that we can reach out to other people with expertise.
Don't remember the names, but I know years ago some of the people I went to college with went that route. And they were my contacts, especially in the Taconic Park region. Good friend of mine, who's retired now, I think. One other question, where am I? April 25th, and I'm going to yield to Penny, but April 25th is Town Cleanup Day.
Okay.
Okay? And one of the things that I'm going to bring up tonight is really let's make a major effort. And you've done it already with what you're going to do in the library. The plastic bag and the whole thing. Conservation, clean up Kent, beautify Kent, whatever we call it. But I want to energize, I want to try and energize, and this is what I was talking to Maureen and Penny about, is get as many groups as possible. You know, the police, cadet program, the community service. Not everybody can, you know, and I remember last year it rained, and it's okay, we'll wait until next year. No, I can't. We need to, because I got emails, how come we didn't clean up this block in Lake Carmel? I think we need to get people together, and I want to energize that, and we'll talk about that later. And one other thing, would someone from your group be available to speak at a luncheon with me to about 25 business people?
The CAC, I'm sure, would be.
Okay, I'll be in touch with you. Okay, I'm sorry, Maureen. This is an interesting topic here.
Anybody
Thank
else?
you. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You still have to pay.
I encourage people to sign up for the photo competition, and also for, it's not called a journal, your
Almanac.
The almanac, which I do get, and it is wonderful.
Excellent.
It's
Top
really,
shelf, excellent.
It's really a pleasure to read.
We're going to nominate you for an award. That's just in that alone. It's
Yeah.
top shelf. Whoever does it, I know there's committee people. Top shelf. Very professional.
So I encourage people to look into the CAC and get involved with them, because it's really an excellent organization in town, and we're very lucky to have such a great organization. And thank you for coming. Okay, the next item, recreation. We go right into playing. We have 3 recreation items that were submitted to the board. The first one is resurfacing of the playgrounds at Ryan's Field and Eustis Park. They got 3 different quotes for the materials. And so the Director of Recreation would like us to approve the purchasing of this material so that we can have it installed at the park.
This is environmentally safe?
They're all ADA approved surfacing. I don't know if
Okay,
it's
because I know it
environmental-
changes year by year. Okay. And I wanted to know what portion goes to the Farmers Mills Park, the central western part of our town.
If you'd like, I had hoped that the director would be here this evening to answer questions. But if you'd like, if we have questions about this item, we can always put this over to the next meeting to take a vote. I don't know how you feel about
That's
that.
your, I haven't spoken to him.
The only
so.
problem with that is if he needs to get these playgrounds up and running, how early are the playgrounds really open for the season? And I know they're really actually open all year round, but
If,
when they start getting used, I would imagine as soon as the weather breaks.
no, I will vote for it. I just thought I'd have, you know,
Yeah, I think-
I will have to be on it myself. I'll do it.
Okay. And the next item for recreation is the seasonal personnel hiring. He is looking to hire 6 seasonal employees at the,
Was this advertised, Maureen? Do you know?
my office didn't advertise this, but
Lana?
we did get applications for it. Let me see
Yeah,
what the applications are.
I see that. Yeah.
I don't have a copy of the notice, though.
It might be in with the vouchers.
Yeah. Lana,
Lana?
do you by any chance have a copy of the notice for the recreation department employees?
Was there advertisement in what we're talking about right now?
I haven't put anything out. We didn't have authorization to advertise.
I think I can think of is, isn't there a spot on the website, maybe he just added the application?
The website we're having a problem with. I have not put anything on the website. I've sent bid notices, whatever employment we were seeking for lifeguards, and I'm not getting a response back, and nothing is being put up. I'm only able to maintain the calendar.
Okay.
And the E-code. So all the bid notices, all, the employment for the lifeguards, none of that is being posted.
I think it was.
It's old. Whatever you're seeing is old. There's nothing new on the website.
Okay, because I know there was
The
something
sanitation worker was the last one that we put up, well, that you had authorization, and the lifeguards, and none of it is being posted on the website.
Okay, I saw where we were putting out for bids for the cleaning services.
We are, but it's not going on the website.
It was on the website.
It must be an old one. Or the date is on the calendar. I think I put the date on the calendar, but you're not getting the bid package. We have a spot that says bids and employment, but they're not being updated. We need to get the new one up quick.
Yes, we do.
Do we have a status on the new
Well,
one?
the new website really is pretty much ready to go. It's, we have it's up, it's not published yet. The problem with the website is that currently our email is tied to our old website. And so we've been talking to the county about going on to their email server, which would be at no cost to the town. It's just taking a while to get the agreements together and to get it to the point where we're ready to jump off our old website. We've also explored the possibility of working with our new the people that provide and do the support for our website, but that would be a cost to the town. So we're trying to work with the county to do it. We were hoping, the chief and I have been in discussions with the county, we were hoping to have something to bring to the board tonight, but there's going to be a county meeting next week to discuss this. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that maybe by the next town board meeting, we'd have something substantial and concrete to bring to the town board.
Okay. Just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm very concerned of hooking into the county. And I hope maybe there's another option. I know we want to keep costs down and stuff. As we get into this, I just want some type of assurance about the confidentiality. And whatever else goes with that, and we'll have further talks on this.
Well, and that's one of the things that we've kind of been stressing, that they're, even if we do go to the county, that they're our emails. They're working on an agreement and some language for us, and we'll be talking further to them about this. And then hopefully by the next board meeting, we'll have something concrete to bring to the board. As soon as we're able to go to an email provider, then we can activate our website. And actually, I did get an email, I think today, from our support person at Virtual Towns saying, so what's the status? Because they want to go live too, because once we go live with them, then we pay for the support.
Well,
So,
I guess I don't understand a little bit. So we have our email through our current website. Are we changing domain names? Like with the website, will you access the Town of Kent's website with the same exact email address?
Yes.
Or the same exact web address?
Yes.
So then once we switch going live, how does it affect our email?
Because that other site won't be active anymore.
And our email goes through the website?
Right.
We don't have our own server?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's, and that's why, we're so limited. Anybody that's tried to email us and has gotten their emails bounced back because the size of the site and the amount of email is so small. So I'm hoping by the end of this month that we're ready to go on all fronts.
Okay.
But, so then do we want to table this to see if this was properly advertised? Or, I don't know how you want to proceed.
I just want to be fair and balanced to everybody. We advertised all the other positions. I thought it was a simple question. I thought it was the answer.
Yeah, I don't have.
Well, another way to look at it is to say, if anybody's watching or paying attention, if you want to work part-time help for the Parks Department, send in an application and we'll hold it open for another 2 weeks. Other than that, what else are we really going to do?
Okay, we're tabling. We got to move ahead. Okay, but I just had a concern.
And what, going back to the quantities of, I guess, safe mulch or whatever it is, one is a cheaper price per yard, and the other one is a cheaper overall cost because it's a different quantity. What is Lou looking for? Is he looking for the one at a cheaper price at a higher, or a cheaper price per yard at a higher total price? Is he looking for the lower price?
Ziegler Brothers.
Okay, so he's looking for the mid price, but it's the cheapest per yard.
It looks like one of them has 90 cubic yards.
Yeah.
Right.
That's lower, and the other one has 100.
But he says in his memo here, we only need 70 to 80 cubic yards.
Kind of.
Immediately, right. And then he wants some for future use.
Yeah, I
but-
can understand it. You want to store some stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand, but then 20 yards for future use, 70 plus 20 is 90, and that's the...
Right,
That's
80
fine.
plus 20.
You're not talking that much.
Oh, here he is.
Here we go.
We had so many questions. Come on up, Lou.
Here he comes to save the day.
Good. Yeah, let's get things done.
Hi, Lou.
Good evening, everyone.
Move this to the side a little bit, sorry.
All right. So you have questions. I'm not exactly sure what the questions are, so where would you like to start?
Well, let's start with the surfacing.
Surfacing, okay.
And what was your first question? Your first question was about the quality of the material?
Yeah, is it environmentally safe? Is it the newest product out?
Yeah, it is IPMA certified. It is an environmentally safe material. It is a manufactured wood chip that meets the requirements to be a safety surfacing for playgrounds.
Okay.
And we have used that before. We used it last year. There's always some guesswork in the actual amount that we will need. I could end up needing, 70 to 80 yards immediately, 20 yards that I can stockpile for use. It could be, I may need 85 yards. It depends because, an inch deeper over 50 feet uses, another, 5-7 cubic yards of material.
Do you have an idea of how you're going to break that down between the two parks?
Predominantly, at this point, if I use 80 yards of it currently, I imagine that 60 will probably go to Ryan's Park and 20 at Eustis. I'll know more once Eustis, the material from